Check out my new shirt for the barn that I got at Monster Mania. It's pretty cool, right? This movie wasn't.
These poor individuals who have gone missing were amateur ghost hunters, not trained professional investigators.
Hell House LLC 2, The Abaddon Hotel, God that's a fucking mouthful, is once again directed by Stephen Cognetti, and is the sequel to the 2016 horror film that I reviewed earlier this year that has somewhat of a cult following, Hell House LLC. It takes place 8 years after the first film, and follows the story of a documentary crew who enters the famous Abaddon Hotel, the subject of the 2016 documentary, in hopes of uncovering the mysteries of what happened to the former business owners. Now, like I said, I reviewed the first film earlier this year, and if you watched that video, you know that I thought the first film was pretty decent. It was a halfway decent horror movie. It was a lot of fun. It had some good atmosphere, some really creepy moments. It was really subtle, and it had a lot of heart. And it ended up gaining quite a bit of a cult following since its release in 2016. And, all of that is more than I could say about this movie. From the first scene in the film, the intense drop in quality is really apparent, and it does not get any better from there for the next 90 minutes. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not good, guys. The film takes a quasi-meta-film approach to the story, with the original Hell House LLC being treated as an existing documentary that people are debating the legitimacy of. And in that sense, it kind of feels a lot like Book of Shadows' Blair Witch 2, but with the production value of Birdemic. Now, don't get me wrong, the first Hell House LLC got away with a lot on very little budget. It got away with a lot of minimalism, and it made it work because it had a lot of strong writing and atmosphere, and it was clear there was a lot of passion going into making these scares work. Yeah, this film doesn't have that. Honestly, there's no better way I could put it than the fact that this film feels like a fan film. The acting is horrendous. The writing is even worse. Everyone feels the need to narrate every single thing you're thinking and feeling at every minute of the film. The first few minutes has the news team narrating that their gimmick is that they never stop recording no matter what happens. It's the most half-assed way of shoehorning in a reason that the characters will never put the camera down and this movie will exist. Every single bit of dialogue is expository to the point where it sounds like it was written by aliens. The movie keeps cutting back intermittently to these morning news segments discussing the events of the first film and the hotel itself. And it's cringy and absurdly poorly acted, and this is where I say it feels like Birdemic, because the acting's bad, the writing is bad. It's all shot in front of this awful green screen. It's terrible. And I don't know what happened. The movie can't even keep track of its own continuity. There are points when the film discusses characters who have gone missing and were never seen again, only for their bodies to show up on camera 2 scenes later with everyone acknowledging that they are dead. And someone is clearly editing this film together in the world of the film, so it makes absolutely no sense from any perspective. I'll admit the film has 1 or 2 decently creepy scenes because, much like the first film, they're subtle about it, and they just focus on the creeps instead of the obnoxious jump scares and going way too far with it. Those 1 or 2 scenes do an excellent job with atmosphere, and it feels like they were directed by a different person. Everything else are just rehashed scares from the first film, but not executed nearly as well. Whereas the first film showed you virtually nothing and left a lot of it up to your imagination, nah, this film says fuck that. Let's just show the terribly rendered CGI portal to hell, and let's just show Andrew Tully and have him be a fucking monologuing boogeyman. Let's have the fucking clown actually walking around on camera. Because that wasn't the creepiest part of the first movie or anything, the fact that this clown statue was appearing in random places when it's not supposed to be able to move. It all just comes across as so lazy and lame. The final major scene in the movie is supposed to be this big dramatic climax with a bunch of heavy reveals taking place around a dinner table. Except half of the shots are centered around this obnoxiously placed candelabra in the middle of the table, and the candles on it aren't even real. They're those plug-in electric light bulb candles. And the movie isn't even really trying to hide the fact that they're very, very fake. And that summarizes the movie perfectly right there. It's all bland and boring and fucking stupid and cringy. I wouldn't go so far as to say that the first Hell House LLC was a fluke, because it does show a lot of potential and a lot of understanding of how to make a good horror film. But Hell House LLC 2, The Abaddon Hotel, feels like a film that was never meant to exist. It's a film that was made to capitalize on the hype that the first film generated, even though they had no plan or no idea where to take it. And the result is a story that feels ultimately directionless, and it just feels like a lazy attempt at fleshing out a backstory to a hotel that nobody was even asking for. I'm gonna say that Hell House LLC 2, The Abaddon Hotel, is a fucking garbage fire. Honestly, guys, when people are talking about sequels that are so bad that they retroactively ruin the original, this is the movie that they're talking about. Don't watch it. It's not worth it. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more and you want to see me get mad about more movies, I'm going to be watching a bunch this month. So click down there, like, comment, subscribe. I have a Patreon now. The link is down in the description. If you want to see me make more, better content for this channel that you all can enjoy, and if you want to just see me be able to improve my craft, please consider donating. I would really appreciate it. Even $1 helps. But, you know, if you don't, that's okay too. I appreciate it nonetheless, and I will see you all very soon.
Oh, okay, we're leaving. Go, 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 go!
Who is...